We're live. I'm wet and ready for some football. Yeah, I just came back from a walk. So every Sunday morning before I do this show, I always go for a walk. It just, gets the blood flowing, get ready for the show, get my mind going, mind right, talk some fantasy football. Hey, it's pouring rain out there. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going anyway. It's pouring rain. I'm soaking wet. But it was still nice. Still nice. Getting a little cold out there, actually. You guys think this is going to be Derrick Henry's last game as a Titan? Is there any chance today's the last game as a Titan? I know I know. They told him. The Titans told him, "Hey, we don't plan to trade you. We don't plan to trade you." Yeah, I take that with a grain of salt. Like, how many times have we heard teams say, "Oh, we're not gonna trade this guy. We don't plan on trading this guy," and then they actually trade him? Happens all the time. It only makes sense for the team, and they're doing themselves a disservice by keeping him. He's in the last year of his contract. He's 29 years old. They're not going anywhere. What is the point? What is the point of keeping him? Just you can probably get a second round pick for him. Why wouldn't you do that? You're a rebuilding team. You're starting freaking Will Levis today, and you're going to mix in Malik Willis. What the hell? Team is going nowhere. Why wouldn't you trade him? I mean, I understand if your best offer is like a 5th, 6th round pick. You want to keep him for that? Whatever. But I'm sure someone is offering a 3rd, a 2nd, a 3rd and a 4th, something for Derrick Henry. Make the move. And man, how fun would it be to see Derrick Henry in Baltimore? How fun would Derrick Henry be running with Lamar Jackson? Let's make it happen. We all want that. Make it happen. There's also rumors he could go to Dallas, to Cleveland, to the Bills. The Bills make some sense. I don't think the Cowboys are going to do that. And the Browns, they got too much other shit to deal with right now. They don't even know if they have their quarterback. Because, man, Watson is... I'm telling you, the legal system failed with Deshaun Watson. The NFL suspended him for what? 10 games? Is that enough? Probably not. The football gods are like, you know what? You guys can't handle it down there. We are going to take things in our own hands. And they're like, bippity boppity boo. Deshaun Watson no longer good at football. I'm telling you, that's what happened. All right. Rant over. Let's get to some start-sit questions. We've got a ton of them rolling in on TikTok already. And like I always say, if you want me to guarantee that I'm going to answer your questions, come over to the Yards Per Fantasy YouTube channel. Just find Yards Per Fantasy on YouTube. The link is in the TikTok bio. Just click on there. Jump in here. We don't get as many comments on the YouTube channel as we do on TikTok. So I see them right here, just like Jacob coming in. And these are the ones we're going to get to. These are the ones we're going to prioritize. So come over to the Yards Per Fantasy YouTube channel. Make sure if you do, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's go. All right, Jacob's asking Tyrod Taylor or Derek Carr. He's got Justin Fields. Obviously, he's hurt. Yeah, I'm still going to roll with Derek Carr, I guess. I mean, we'll roll with Derek Carr. The Giants' offense has still been bad, and terrible weapons. They're out without both of their starting tackles today. Obviously, Andrew Thomas has been out all year, and then Evan Neal is also out today. Although they do get the center back, John Michael Schmitz or whatever his name is. Yeah, we'll roll with Derek Carr. Zach is asking, oh, this is Zach. The Zach. Christian Kirk or Amari Cooper? We're going to go Christian Kirk. You already know the answer to that. We're going Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk forever. Manuel, start one, flex, PPR, Amari Cooper, Michael Thomas, or Rashee Rice. We're going to go Amari Cooper there. Yeah, give me Amari Cooper for that one. He's had some success with, I mean, he's an up and down player. That's what you're going to get with Amari Cooper. It's all or nothing. And he's shown he can produce with PJ Walker, quarterback. Against the 49ers a couple weeks ago, he had 4 catches for 108 yards. So we're going to trust him still. Should I trade Josh Allen for Dak and Waddle? This is a 1 quarterback league, a super flex league. It depends on what your other wide receivers are. I think I'm going to keep Josh Allen there. I'm going to keep the edge at quarterback. Those top 5 quarterbacks or so this year are really giving an edge more than usual this year because the guys like Dak, for example, is underperforming. So we're going to roll with Josh Allen side there. Do you think Jerome Ford will play? You know, as much of a miracle as it would be, I actually do. I think Jerome Ford's going to play today because he put in, what, a full practice? A full practice on Friday? That tells you a lot. I know they want to see him pregame, you know, how he cuts, how he feels. I think he's going to play. Now, is he going to play his full load of snaps? Probably not. Is he going to play to his 100% performance level? Probably not. But I do think he's going to play, and I do think he can be put in your lineup if you don't have better options. Should we start one, Darren Waller or Dalton Schultz? We're definitely going Darren Waller. He really did play well last week. On National Tight Ends Day with Tyrod Taylor. So I think the Giants are finally realizing, like, hey, we traded for this guy. He's pretty damn good. The other guys that we have to throw to, not so much. So let's start feeding Darren Waller, and they're finally doing it. It's about time. Josh Jacobs or Ramondre Stevenson? We're going to go Josh Jacobs here. I'm going to go Josh Jacobs. It's been a disappointing season for both of these guys. I'm going to go Jacobs. He doesn't have to worry about Zeke. Not that I'm that worried about Zeke for Ramondre, but it's closer than it probably should be. But I'll go Jacobs there. Justice Hill, Odell Beckham Jr., or Devin Singletary. See, Devin Singletary is interesting this week because before the bye, he outsnapped Dameon Pierce pretty significantly. And I don't know if that was just a one-off, but I think it could be something that we have to pay attention to. We at least have to pay attention to it. I don't know if I'm trusting him yet today. I think I'm still starting Dameon Pierce if I need to, ahead of Devin Singletary. So in this case, I'm going to go with Justice Hill. But I would rank them Justice Hill, Devin Singletary, Odell Beckham. Josh Palmer, Tank Dell, and Miles Sanders. I'm going to go Josh Palmer here. He should be good to go. Sounds like he's going to play. Tank Dell is interesting this week for sure. Miles Sanders is concerning. I know he's got a decent matchup, but he's coming back off the injury. And I'm not so sure he's the number one running back in Carolina anymore. At worst, at worst, he's going to split snaps. He's going to share the backfield. Even if he's the lead back, he's going to share it with Chuba Hubbard, who has been outperforming him. And do we really want a guy coming off an injury in a shared backfield on a bad offense? I can't confidently start that guy. Let's roll with Josh Palmer. Geno Smith or Bryce Young? I'm going to go Geno Smith. For sure, 100%. KJ Osborne, Jerry Jeudy, or Jerome Ford? I think in this case, assuming Jerome Ford's going to play, which I do think he's going to, I think we're going to roll with Jerome Ford. I think we got to do it. I don't have a lot of confidence in KJ Osborne. Maybe a narrative here with Jerry Jeudy. Maybe the team decides, hey, we're trying to trade Jerry Jeudy. We're trying to, work up a market for him, and they try to feature him in this game. But one, have you seen the weather in Denver? That field is covered in snow. They got a foot of snow overnight. Now, obviously, I'm sure they'll clean off the field, but last I heard, it's still snowing. So that could be a factor there as well. So let's go Jerome Ford. Even though we got the narrative with Jeudy, I still can't trust it. I can't trust it. All right, who wins this trade? This is from Josh on YouTube. Remember, if you want to come over from TikTok to YouTube, I guarantee I'll get to your question on YouTube. Just find the Yards per Fantasy YouTube channel. Who wins this trade? Jerry Jeudy and Dameon Pierce for Hollywood Brown and Devin Singletary. Oh, this is easy. Easy. Hollywood wins this deal. 100%. Easy. I made a video this week talking about my top buys and sells for the week. Hollywood Brown is my number one buy. Hollywood Brown has been commanding targets all season. He's played well. Obviously, his performance from a fantasy perspective has been up and down, inconsistent. He hasn't hit that ceiling game, but we can blame a lot of that on the quarterback play. And I know Joshua Dobbs has outperformed expectations, and he's played somewhat well. He's had some good games. He's been competent, and I think that's really all we needed from him, and all we could ever ask from Josh Dobbs is for him to be competent, and he's been that. But it still has hindered a guy like Hollywood Brown, especially a downfield playmaker like Hollywood Brown. So I believe next week is going to be the week that we're going to see Kyler Murray. Now, it may take a little bit of a ramp up for a couple weeks before we, really get the payoff from having Kyler Murray. But it's absolutely going to be a good thing for Marquise Brown. So I'm buying him. I remember last year, Hollywood Brown, I know they each had their own injuries. Kyler ended up going out with the knee, obviously. Hollywood missed a big chunk of the season. I believe it was a foot injury that he had. I could be wrong about that, but I know he missed some games in the middle of the year. But when they played together, Marquise Brown averaged 18 fantasy points per game. He averaged more than 10 targets. He had 80 yards per game. He was the wide receiver 8 in the games that they played together. So I absolutely love that side. And we already kind of touched on Dameon Pierce versus Devin Singletary, where Dameon Pierce is losing snaps. And not just losing snaps to Devin Singletary. He lost starting job to Devin Singletary prior to the bye week. Now, does he get it back coming out of the bye? That's a real possibility. But it's a situation we need to monitor, and we cannot confidently play or roster Dameon Pierce at this point. So I think Devin Singletary is a good pickup here. Dameon Pierce is absolutely a great sell, as is Jerry Jeudy. Hollywood Brown, a great buy. Josh, I hope you are getting the Hollywood Brown side of this deal. If not, sorry, buddy. But let me know. Are you the one getting the Hollywood Brown side of this deal? I really hope so. Kansas City or Miami defense this week. Ooh, I mean, I don't usually answer defense questions because I actually don't rank defenses, and I don't think I have any leagues that still play defenses. So I'm a little out of touch with that. Um, both have great matchups today. Both have turnover machines on the other side. Kansas City is playing in a snow game, so that could be more susceptible to turnovers. It also could make things a little bit more difficult for pass rushers with their traction to get to the quarterback. Yeah, we'll play the KC defense though. We'll play the KC defense. Miami gets Jalen Ramsey back today, that's great. They're still without Howard, but I'll get Ramsey back. Calvin Ridley or Dameon Pierce? We're gonna go Calvin Ridley here. We already kind of touched on why we can't play Dameon Pierce confidently, so we'll play Ridley. Not that Ridley's been great, but I trust Calvin Ridley for sure over Dameon Pierce at this point. However, in this situation with Kaz, we are going to play Michael Pittman over Calvin Ridley. We talked about it when Anthony Richardson went down with Gardner Minshew coming in. The passing volume is going to be up in that offense, and we've seen that a little bit. Because Gardner Minshew is not as likely to take off and run with it. They're not as likely to script quarterback running plays for a Gardner Minshew versus an Anthony Richardson. And they're trailing in the fourth quarter. They're trailing in the second half of games, so they're throwing the ball a lot in comeback mode. I'm going to play Michael Pittman over Calvin Ridley. Michael Pittman's been pretty consistent week to week. I think last week was like only the second or third time this year that he's had fewer than 10 targets in a game. So let's go Pittman there. I think he's got the highest ceiling and the highest floor. Pick 2, CeeDee Lamb, Jordan Addison, Jalen Waddle. This guy just wants to brag about how great his wide receiver core is. Although Lamb has certainly underperformed. I think we still got to go CeeDee Lamb. And I think we'll go Jordan Addison. I'm a little worried that the Patriots-Dolphins game could be one of those your typical AFC East division, Patriots-Dolphins, gross type of game. I mean, the Dolphins are certainly capable of blowing the Patriots out. But I kind of have a feeling, especially with Jalen Waddle, he's a little banged up. I kind of have a feeling this game could be like, and Hill is banged up as well. This game could be, as is Mostert. Could just keep going on and on. This game could be a little bit more like your 20-13 type of game rather than the Dolphins just blowing them out like we've seen for most of the year. Alonso's asking Michael Pittman or Deontay Johnson and Patrick Mahomes or CJ Stroud. So let's start with Pittman versus Deontay Johnson. I'm going to play Michael Pittman for the same reasons we just talked about with a couple questions above. Deontay Johnson came back and played well in his first game back last week. But I still think George Pickens might be the wide receiver one in Pittsburgh. But we're going to play Michael Pittman there. Matthew is asking Tony Pollard, Breece Hall, Josh Jacobs, and Austin Eckler. Start 2. It's a hell of a running back room you got there, Matthew. Hell of a running back room. Eckler's a little concerning. I mean, hasn't played super great since he's been back. I mean, that's not a surprise coming off his ankle injury. And then last week he picked up a second ankle injury on the other ankle. Obviously, it's a lot more minor because he's going to play, but it's a concern. Now, his matchup is fantastic, so I think we got to play him. He should at least be involved in the passing game. So let's go Eckler. So it comes down to Pollard, Hall, and Jacobs. Pollard has been underperforming, but his role's been great. Breece Hall has been really ramping it up. He's got a pretty good matchup. I think they'll lean on him a lot today. I like Pollard. Like I said, I have him ranked as my RB9, but I'm going to go Breece Hall here. I got Breece Hall ranked as RB7. So just to lay it out there, I've got Austin Eckler as my RB6. Brees Hall is my RB7. Tony Pollard is my RB9. And who's the other one? Josh Jacobs. I got him down at RB16. So all good plays this week, but let's roll with Eckler and Brees Hall. Calvin Ridley or Michael Pittman? Did we just have this one? Yeah, we did. We already answered this one. So we're going to go Michael Pittman. Got a couple repeat questions that we already answered. I am getting Hollywood. Yeah, Josh. Let's go. Let's go. Great deal, man. What a great deal. I don't know if it's a done deal, but I hope it gets done because that's a big W. Big W for you right there. All right, Brian. Flex spot. DK Metcalf, Chuba Hubbard, or Rashee Rice. Let's go DK Metcalf. Let's go DK. I think if you have a guy like DK Metcalf, you're playing him every week. You're playing him every week. As long as he's healthy, you're playing him. I know he's kind of like a rich man's Amari Cooper, almost. Not quite, but a little bit. In the way that he's kind of, just kind of giving you all or nothing type of guy. But he's due for a boom week. He's absolutely due for a boom week. So let's go DK Metcalf there. I do like Rashee Rice. He's coming, but it was great to see Rashee Rice. His route participation went way up last week. The Chiefs are finally starting to appreciate him. That's really exciting there, but not quite ready to start him over DK Metcalf. I just want to make sure Matthew, I know he asked this question a couple times, so I just want to make sure that he saw the answer to this. So we talked about this already. We're going to go Eckler, and we're going to go Brees Hall. All right. Should I trade Mike Evans for Calvin Ridley in the Eagles defense? Like, let's just toss the Eagles defense out. Doesn't matter. So Mike Evans for Calvin Ridley. Absolutely not. No. I mean, I'm not trading a stud wide receiver to try to get a defense. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. Because we've seen, I know the Eagles defense is playing great. They got a good playoff matchup, whatever. Defenses are so easy to stream off your waiver wire. You can find good defenses on the waiver wire. And even when you play an Eagles defense, not guaranteed that, they got a good matchup in the playoffs. It's not a guarantee that they're going to be a big hit in that week. Especially when Evans versus Ridley, it's really not even close at this point. Coming into the season, you could argue that they were close. And actually, I think coming into the season, most people would have ranked Calvin Ridley ahead of Mike Evans. And it's completely swung the other way. Mike Evans is the same Mike Evans that we've seen for years and years and years. Going to have another 1,000-yard season. Scoring a lot of touchdowns. Same guy we've seen for 10 years. Calvin Ridley, it's kind of a one-hit wonder. Hate to tell you. One-hit wonder in 2020. And in this season, he had that one big game. Should I start Tank Dell over George Pickens? I'm going to still go George Pickens there. I'm going to go George Pickens. Tank Dell, I do want to say I do like Tank Dell this week. But I can't start him over George Pickens. Not there yet. Can Adam Thielen continue to produce at a top 10 rate? I mean, I think you're asking the wrong guy because I didn't believe in Adam Thielen at all coming into the season. At all. The dude was in the coffin. The nail was in it. We were about to hit the hammer on the nail to close the coffin forever. Adam Thielen punched his way through the freaking coffin and said, "I'm still here, baby." So I'm not putting anything past him now. I'm not confident that he's going to continue at a top 10 rate. No, I'm not confident in that. But I was also wrong about Adam Thielen to begin. But I think he's one of these guys that until he shows us otherwise, because he's done it for half a year now, until he shows us otherwise, I think we just got to keep rolling with him. So in this question here, he's asking full PPR, Adam Thielen or Amari Cooper, think we got to go Adam Thielen. We got to go Adam Thielen until he proves that he's gonna fall off. We're just gonna keep rolling with him. All right, let's get to Drake. Need 2 full PPR, DK Metcalf, Zay Flowers, George Pickens. DK Metcalf, Flowers, Pickens. I'm gonna go DK Metcalf and then Zay Flowers. We're gonna play those 2 guys. Yeah, I'll play those 2 guys. It's hard to fully trust George Pickens when you have 2 studs like that. I like George Pickens over some other guys, like a Tank Dell, for example. But when we have a DK Metcalf, a Zay Flowers, I think we'll put Pickens on the bench now that Deontay Johnson's back to take some targets away from there. And I don't trust Kenny Pickett to propel both of these guys every single week. I think it's going to be a 1 week, one guy, 1 week, the next guy type of thing. Though I would start Pickens over Deontay Johnson, but I can't do it over DK and Zay. All right, Matthew has another question here. Thoughts on Davante Adams? Should I panic? Panic? No, I think it's too soon to panic. I really do. I think it's too soon to panic on Davante Adams. I think they're gonna try everything they can. They know they got to get him the football. Jimmy Garoppolo is coming back, which I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo coming back is like a savior, which is sad because it's Jimmy Garoppolo. But when it's versus Brian Hoyer or Aiden O'Connell, we'll take Jimmy. We know that he's at least capable of getting his studs the football. So I'm not panicking on Davante Adams yet, but he's probably not your top 5 guy that we're used to seeing. When do you think Justin Jefferson gets back? And if I were to trade Jordan Addison, who do I got? Hard to know. I mean, without knowing your roster and your situation and what your league mates need, it's hard to answer the Addison part. But I think you can probably package Jordan Addison with another wide receiver to get an upgrade. If you're strong at wide receiver, especially. Oh, I guess you didn't say if you have Justin Jefferson. But I think you can package. That's what I would probably be looking to do. If I wanted to trade Jordan Addison, I'd probably package him with somebody else to get an upgrade rather than just trying to get a 1-for-1. Because what are you going to get? What are you going to get for Jordan Addison? You're going to trade him for like a Zay Flowers? I think at this point you should shoot higher. And I mean, unless you need a running back and you're going to trade him for, I don't know, off the top of my head, you could probably try to get like a Raheem Mostert for him. But it's tough to know without knowing your roster situation. But my strategy for him would probably be package to upgrade either at wide receiver, or you could package him with a running back. You could package him with a tight end to upgrade at those positions if you need to. It's tough to say on Justin Jefferson. We don't really have a ton of information on it. But I think the Vikings winning recently is going to help push him back closer or sooner. Can't talk. Get him back sooner than if they were continuing to lose games and look like a bad team. Because it's going to be just more incentive for him to come back to compete rather than being like, you know what, this team is not playing well. We have nothing to play for. I'm going to, looking for a new contract. Why am I going to push myself back if I'm not 100% yet? So he might come back at 80% rather than waiting until he's 100%. So, but I still think it's going to be multiple weeks still. It could be past when he's eligible to come back off of IR. Sounds like it's a pretty severe hamstring injury. All right, we got 8 minutes left, so we got to pick up the pace here a little bit. Like I said, TikTok audience, if you want to come over to the YouTube channel, I guarantee you I will get to your question over on the Yards Per Fantasy YouTube channel because we get so many on TikTok. It's hard to keep up with them. I see them a lot more clearly over here on YouTube. Just find Yards Per Fantasy on YouTube. And make sure when you do, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's go. All right, Raphael. Who do I go with? Sanders, Jalen Warren, or Kareem Hunt at running back? So Kareem Hunt is probably, that's a really risky one because it sounds like, yeah, I wish we knew the status of Ford as well. But if I had to bet, I'm going to say Jerome Ford is playing. If I had to bet, I think Jerome Ford is going to play. So now I don't think he's going to play a full complement of snaps necessarily. So Kareem Hunt could still have some viability here. But in this case, I think I'm going to play Jalen Warren. I think Jalen Warren has outproduced Najee Harris in fantasy points in every game except for one. So he's got a good role there. I'm going to go Jalen Warren. I don't trust Miles Sanders coming back off the injury, even though he has a pretty good matchup against Houston. I don't think he's going to completely take his job back, if at all, with Chuba Hubbard, the way Chuba Hubbard's been playing, on top of Sanders coming back from an injury. So even if Miles Sanders is the lead back in Carolina off the injury, I think it's going to be very, very close to a 50-50 split with Chuba Hubbard. So give me Jalen Warren. He's been explosive. He catches passes, scores some touchdowns. That's who I would trust there for sure. Who is in your top 10 receiver list? I mean, for the week, you want to just go through the rankings real fast? Like, I'm not going to talk about them, but top 10 wide receivers for week 8. Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown, Stephon Diggs, Cooper Kupp. Well, Stephon Diggs already played, but, he was my wide receiver 3 coming in. Cooper Kupp, a wide receiver 4. Keenan Allen, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I do have Devontae Adams ranked as my wide receiver 8. Puka Nacua as the wide receiver 9. And Mike Evans as the wide receiver 10 for this week. You can find those at yardsperfantasy.com. Gus Edwards or Josh Palmer / Quentin Johnston. Toss Quentin Johnston out. He must be new here. We do not like Quentin Johnston here. OD. Got it. We don't like Quentin Johnston. Never have. Never will. So we're going to play Josh Palmer over Gus Edwards. Josh Palmer's been playing pretty well. He's been playing well. And I know he's got the injury. I think it's a hip that kind of popped up last week, but sounds like he's good to go. Even though I think he's a game time decision. There was a report this morning, I think from Ian Rappaport, saying that he is very likely to play. So we'll play him over Gus Edwards. It's tough to trust the Ravens running back. Right when you think you can trust, all right, it's Justice Hill. We can play Justice Hill. Gus Edwards goes off. Or not, well, to the best that Gus Edwards can go off. But then you're like, all right, it's Gus Edwards. Well, then Justice Hill comes out and catches 5 passes. Like, it's hard to predict who's going to come out of that Ravens backfield. We gotta pray for Derrick Henry to Baltimore Ravens trade. Make it happen, football gods. Make it happen, football gods. Derrick Henry to the Ravens. Make it happen. All right. Garrett Wilson or Jalen Waddle. Let's go Garrett Wilson here. I'm going to go Garrett Wilson. I have hesitancy on both of these guys. We got to pick up the pace here. We only got 3 minutes. Aaron Jones or Darrell Henderson, full PPR. Man, it's hard to trust Aaron Jones. I want to play Aaron Jones because he's so much more talented than Darrell Henderson. I think I probably do have him ranked ahead, but man, I don't love it. He didn't play. I know he was coming off the injury last week. So he didn't play ahead of Austin Dillon, but I think we got to roll the dice and go with Aaron Jones because I think we'd be a lot more sad if Aaron Jones went off and he's on your bench as opposed to Darrell Henderson. So let's go Aaron Jones. Let's just go with the more talented guy. We got to trust it. Garrett Wilson or Jalen Waddle. Did we just get this one? I think we did, yeah. So we're going to Garrett Wilson here. Could DJ Moore be a top 10 wide receiver for the season? Like the end of the year? I think at this point it's really hard. It's going to be really hard to get there. It's going to be really hard to get there. He's certainly talent-wise, he's absolutely capable. 100% he's capable. He's a great wide receiver. Dude has just had terrible quarterback luck for his whole career. Poor guy. He's this generation's Allen Robinson. He really is. It sucks. I would say probably no. I would say probably it's not going to happen. It's very unlikely to happen. Like to end the year as a top 10 wide receiver for DJ Moore. Because one, he's playing with Tyson Bagent. I always fuck his name up for some reason. Tyson Bagent at quarterback right now, probably for the next week or so as well. There's a chance Justin Fields is back next week. And then even when Justin Fields comes back, I mean, he was starting to play well, and they were starting to have a good connection there, him and DJ Moore, but I wouldn't put him in top 10. Maybe you could talk me into top 15. I could probably get to top 15. Top 15 for DJ Moore rest of season. Not sure I can get there with top 10. All right. Damian Pierce or Javonte Williams. Let's go Javonte Williams. Dak Prescott or Joe Burrow. I think we got to go Joe Burrow there. We got less than a minute here. Chris Olave or Zay Flowers. Yeah, give me Zay. We'll go Zay. We'll go Zay Flowers there. Devontae Smith or Terry McLaurin. Give me Devontae Smith. Sam Laporta or Darren Waller. Let's go Sam Laporta. But it's close. I like both those guys. Kirk Cousins or Justin Herbert. Give me Justin Herbert. Tank Dell or T. Higgins. I think we could go Tank Dell there. But yeah, it's 1 o'clock. I think we had a great show. Thank you for everybody who tuned in. Yeah, we'll be back to do this again next week, and check out everything we're doing at yardsperfantasy.com. I appreciate you. Appreciate you, everybody who tuned in. Really do. Thank you.